LaMelo Ball is off to a hot start this season, averaging 31 points per game and close to 7 assists per game. After watching their last game against the Magic, it definitely looks like LaMelo could use some more help out there on the floor. LaMelo Ball scored more than half of the Charlotte Hornets' points in last night's loss against the Magic. He scored 44 points. And it's crazy because LaMelo Ball just went off for his career high 50 points against the Bucks on Saturday. But Charlotte still lost that game against the Bucks too, losing 125 to 119 in that loss. And I just think, like, outside of Brandon Miller and LaMelo Ball, there's no other real consistent scoring option right now, as Miles Bridges is currently out with a knee injury for at least another week or two. But even when the Charlotte Hornets team is fully healthy, they're still struggling to turn LaMelo Ball's good play into wins. And what's even worse is when you look at the Charlotte Hornets roster up and down, there still isn't much they could do, like, via trade. They don't got a lot of talent or a lot of upside to trade. And we know for a fact that their young backcourt of Brandon Miller and LaMelo Ball is currently their only untouchable players, as they look to build around the two young guards. One trade I think Charlotte should at least consider is trading for Zion Williamson. I know trading for Zion right now will be very, very risky because of his injury history. But the package would be the Charlotte Hornets would receive Zion Williamson, and the New Orleans Pelicans would receive Miles Bridges, Nick Richards, Trey Mann, and 3 first-round picks. Now I know that sounds a little hefty for Zion Williamson, but we gotta keep in consideration that Zion played his most games last season. He played 70 games last season, and he just got injured in the play-in tournament, which is very unfortunate. We see a lot of players get injured in crunch or in very important times, and injuries are just a part of the game. You know what I'm saying? We got to accept that every player out there gets injured, and Zion Williamson is just, he get injured more than others. So yes, this will be a very, very big risk. But when you look at, you know, the people that they're trading for Zion in this mock trade, you don't look at Trey Mann or Nick Richards or Miles Bridges or the first round picks to be a part of the Charlotte's future. There's no way. And I just feel like with the way the Charlotte Hornets has been drafting, like, other than Brandon Miller and LaMelo, obviously, they haven't been drafting well. They can't draft. We can all say that. We can all agree that the Charlotte Hornets are not good at drafting players. And it just seems like they can't build through the draft. It just seems like they're not good at drafting. We know they will be in the lottery every year because they can't generate wins. But if they want to get LaMelo, you know, to contention sooner than later, man, they're going to have to make a trade soon and stop building through the draft, because it's not working for y'all. Y'all not drafting good. So I just think the New Orleans Pelicans should be ready to move on from Zion, because Zion haven't been able to stay on the floor for them. And it also just seems like he don't want to be there. It just seems like Zion don't want to be in New Orleans. Zion literally left his agency due to contract issues and the agency's inability to land him in New York City. I think once that report got out, I think it's time to move him, because, like, now we know for a fact you didn't want to be in New Orleans. You wanted to go to New York. And obviously he's not in New York right now. He's in New Orleans, and it seemed like he hasn't been able to stay on the floor in New Orleans for a reason. Maybe he just don't want to be there, y'all. Maybe he just want to be somewhere else, and that's why he doesn't care enough to be on the floor. That's just a theory. I don't know if that's the truth, but that's my theory. I think Zion just don't want to truly 100% want to be in New Orleans. I think he'll rather be elsewhere. And I just don't think New York is a realistic thing right now. They look good as they are. They don't need to make any moves for Zion. It wouldn't be smart for New York to make a trade for Zion. So if Zion has to look elsewhere, I think Charlotte would be a perfect fit. I think him and LaMelo just fits each other's timeline. But not only that, they're both players that's injury prone. So it's a risk on both sides. You know, it's a risk coming to LaMelo's team, but it's also a risk for LaMelo to bring Zion to his team. So I just think if they could both look at each other and be like, hey, man, we both finna lock in, try to stay on the floor together, I think that duo of LaMelo Ball and Zion Williamson could be a terror in a couple years. They both fit each other timeline, like I said. LaMelo 23, Zion is currently 24. It'll be a perfect fit. You know what I'm saying? You see, like, last game against Magic, I seen LaMelo throw a crazy lob to Brandon Miller. And I'm just like, what if that was Zion Williamson on the other end? Like, that would be nuts. I honestly, personally think LaMelo Ball and Zion Williamson would be a nice fit. You know what I'm saying? I know injuries play a big, big factor. And if I'm the Charlotte Hornets GM, I don't think I'm making that call for Zion. But you got to do something. Because like I said, they're not doing good through the draft. I do like young players like Trey Mann, but it don't seem like he's going to turn into anything, especially with the backcourt you got right now with LaMelo and Brandon Miller. So I just think it's time. It's time to make some moves. LaMelo's literally averaging 31 points per game right now. Like, LaMelo is hot, but this 31 points per game isn't just like any ordinary 31 points per game. This is like a 31 points per game because he has to score 31 points per game. Like, he's scoring 31 points per game and they're still losing a lot of games. Like I said, it's not any other shot creators but him and Brandon Miller. So it's a lot of times where you see LaMelo just forcing up shots. He can make a lot of those forced up shots, but there's a lot of times where he's inefficient and has bad games because he shoots terrible shots and his defense could be a liability sometimes. But he did a very good job last night against the Magic of just getting in the paint, just knifing his way to the paint, getting to the bucket. He did a very good job of getting to that floater. Like, that floater looked nice last night. And he had a crazy shot over Bataze going into the second half. Right before halftime, he had like a crazy, nasty little step back three over Bataze, and I was like, oh my goodness, like, he's been hooping like that all season. Like, if you've been watching Charlotte games, LaMelo has been putting on the show. And when it comes to like putting on the show, like box office, LaMelo might be top 5. Like, if I have to go see somebody in person, LaMelo will be in my top 5 because he's so fun to watch. He plays like a 2K player or something. Like, he dances around screens. He's throwing these flashy assists to his teammates. Like, I just think it's time for Charlotte to either get LaMelo some better teammates so his talent can flourish and he can get some wins, or it's time for you to move on from LaMelo. You know what I'm saying? And trade LaMelo somewhere where he can win and he can showcase his talent, because it's already bad enough LaMelo isn't in a big market. If LaMelo was in a big market like LA or New York, bro, with that talent, with the shot TV making, like, I feel like the world will be on notice about LaMelo, and they not right now because he's in Charlotte not winning games. His strong play isn't going to anything. His strong play isn't going to any wins. So nobody is really caring about LaMelo's play. Like, his 31 points per game don't really mean anything right now because he isn't winning games. And as a big NBA fan, I just want to see LaMelo succeed. Like, I've been watching LaMelo since he was 16. Like, getting buckets, scoring 70 in the game, shooting half-court shots. I want to see this guy win games. I want to see this guy be successful in this league. And I feel like Charlotte is holding his career back right now. I think LaMelo's in his 4th or 5th season, and it's time for him to start winning. It's no time to keep tanking. I know it's supposed to be a lot of talent in this upcoming draft, but I just don't think they should keep tanking. I think it's time for them to make a move and get aggressive for LaMelo so they can win some more games. You guys let me know down below in the comments how you feel about Charlotte, how you feel about how LaMelo is playing this season, and do you think they should make a move, or do you think they should keep tanking and keep building through the draft? Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did enjoy today's video, please do me a big favor, smash the like button, leave me a comment on anything you want, and subscribe to the channel, because over 95% of you guys is not subscribed to the channel. And it would be great if you guys could subscribe. It's completely free. I'll see you guys in the next video. You dig?